What is going on, guys? We are here with some NFL predictions for week 1 in the NFL. Are you ready to start this journey, Eric?
Yep, I'm ready to get this thing kicked off and going.
All right, and quick announcement. If we get 20 likes on this video, you're going to get the unedited version of Eric's picks if we get 20 likes. So probably ain't going to happen, so we ain't going to get to see that, Jim, but it was pretty hilarious, so I'd like this video if you're seeing this to see that. But, okay, anyways, let's get right into this wonderful week 1 matchup on Thursday night. Prime time football! Lions versus the defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs. Who you got?
Who do I got? I got the defending Super Bowl champions, the Chiefs.
What makes
Are
you
we
think
really
that?
talking about this?
I
What?
think the Lions are gonna kick their butts.
You're joking, right? You're
No,
joking.
okay, but I would take the Chiefs here, but I think the Lions are gonna have a great season. I think they're probably gonna win the NFC North.
They have a shot too.
Them or the Vikings, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know about the Vikings, but they have the Lions definitely have a shot to take the North. The squad they put together is really nice. I like the way that their team works and looks. They did all right in the preseason, but we're in regular season football right now, and we're really going to find out what's going to happen. But they are playing Week 1, Game 1, the Super Bowl champs, the Chiefs, and honestly,
Yeah, Chiefs.
the
Ain't
Chiefs
slowing
didn't take.
down.
Well, no, they're really not. The Chiefs didn't lose any vital pieces to their offense or defense. They lost a bit here and there, but picked up players. They're still looking as strong as ever, and I'm not looking for them to slow down. So I'm going to take the Chiefs in an easy win. But I think that after this week, we'll really be able to see what the Lions are made of. And if they put up a half-decent performance against the Chiefs, it'll really say something.
Spread is -5 for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I don't even know if the Lions covered the spread. But anyways, moving on, we got the Titans versus the Saints. I think the Titans still got a solid squad with King Henry there in the backfield, obviously. He's a dog. But Derek Carr coming to the Saints, and the Saints playing at home. For whatever reason, they just do good at home. So I think just in a close matchup, I'm going to go with the Saints. They're favored by 3.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't really know what to look for at either of these teams. I haven't looked at either of them very closely. I mean, based off of what we've seen from last season, like you said, the Saints always play well at home. The Titans still have Henry in the back. It's going to be interesting to see. I don't know if either team is quite set and ready for the season. I mean, I'm willing to be shocked, but I think between both of these teams, it's really going to come down to who's more prepared Week 1. And between the two of them being at home, I think it's going to be the Saints. I'm going to go with you on that one. I think that between the two teams, I'm not sure what to look for here. I think it'll be a good game to watch and really see what these teams are going to look like throughout the year. But I mean, that's what the first few weeks are for anyways.
It's
But
on
yeah, I think it's all
CBS.
going to come down.
So everybody gets to watch it.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's really going to come down to preparation. I think the Saints being at home is just going to give them the edge.
Yep, I agree. Then we got our Packers versus the Bears. The Bears. The Bears got a lot to prove this season with Justin Fields going all in on him. There's a lot of pressure on Justin Fields. If he doesn't perform this season, the Bears don't do well. Justin Fields might be a questionable player for the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. Between both of these teams, it's really good defenses going at it. It's unproven offenses that are really going to make the difference in this game. It's the unproven offense of
What'd
the
you
Bears.
say earlier about the offenses? Whoever's going to win this.
Whoever's going to win this is going to have whatever. But but it's really going to come down to two unproven offenses that haven't played real NFL games so far. Between the Bears and the Packers, Fields looks like the better quarterback between him and Love, just because he has the experience. We haven't really seen anything from Love, and it'll be an interesting first game to watch of him. In terms of weapons, it's tough to tell. A lot of the former Packer players, went down to Chicago. But Green Bay, scrape together a half decent offense. I think it's going to be interesting. Honestly, I really don't know. It's going to come down to the defenses doing what they do and which offense can scrape together enough points. But it's a tough one. I think, for as much as I hate to say it, I think I'm going to take the Bears.
Dang!
I think that they have the edge in this match. I think it's gonna suck if you're a Packers fan, but
But anyways,
I think overall,
yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Jordan Love, I don't know. I just don't see him going into Soldier Field and beating the Bears like his very first start. So, well,
yeah,
he may have started, but yeah, he's had a start before. But you know what I mean? His first time leading the offense. I just don't see him taking a win, so I'm going to give the edge to the Bears, unfortunately. Maybe it'll be a different story when they play later on in the season. We'll see. But anyways, I got the Bears. Texans versus the Ravens. Texans still look like dog poo-poo, so I think it's going to be an easy Ravens win, in my opinion. They got Lamar Jackson back. I don't see him losing. They got Odell.
Yeah, I mean, this one's going to be a quick and easy one. The Texans are a young, unproven squad versus a strong Baltimore team. I can't go against it. If the Texans want to come out and prove something, it'll be this game, but they still have a couple of weeks, and they're still young and trying to get into the feel of things. I'm going to take Baltimore for a win, but, it's just experience versus unexperienced, and almost every day of the week I'm going to take the experienced team.
Yeah, Texans dog doo-doo. Okay, moving on. We got the Bengals. Joe Burr against the Browns. Who's the quarterback? Deshaun Watson? See?
Yes.
Deshaun Watson. Okay, I think the Bengals going to win this game. Don't know where it's being played at, but Joe Burrow hopefully will be playing. And if he is, I think, they're going to win.
Yeah, so the game's in Cleveland, and honestly, if I'm looking at the two teams, I like the way that Cleveland's defense is still holding up. I think if they can play like they did last year, probably a little bit better because they did have a few instances of just breaking down. But I think if the Browns can keep their defense together and keep the score relatively low, it'll be good for them. Unfortunately, I just don't think that they're going to have the offense to pair with the defense, and it's just not going to work well for the Browns. So I'm going to take the Bengals this week. I think that they just have the stronger overall team. I like the Bengals defense. They played well last year. They made it far. They had their breakdowns here and there, but in the end of the season, they really got to where they needed to be. And the Bengals offense is the Bengals offense. It speaks for itself.
Yep. Moving on, we got the Buccaneers, who Tom Brady is no longer there. They got Baker Mayfield and his offense. Then we got the Vikings, Kirk Cousins. They're probably still going to be looking strong. I think the Buccaneers are going to struggle this season. Therefore, I'm going with the Vikings in this game.
Yep, I'm going to join you with the Vikings. This one's a pretty straightforward pick. The Buccaneers lost a lot of their team. They lost a lot of their strength. The offense is not going to be anywhere close to where it's been the past couple of years. I'm glad that Baker Mayfield is in at a starting position. It's good for him. Unfortunately, I just don't think that he's a high enough caliber quarterback to come in and steal the show week one. I'll say it straight up. I don't think that he's going to come in against a Minnesota Vikings defense in Minnesota and dominate. It's just not going to happen this week. But on the other side of the ball, I think that Minnesota, their offense is strong. I think that Alexander Madison's going to have another good year. Justin Jefferson's really strong. I think that Cousins has another good year coming. It's going to be interesting to see what they can pull out, and we're going to really see what they're built like and what their scheme's going to be this year. Week one against the Bucs, but I'm going to take a Minnesota Vikings win.
All right, moving on. We got Bryce Young and the Panthers versus I don't even know who the dang Falcons quarterback is. I can't remember. It's some weird name. But anyways, I'm going to take the Panthers. I think they're just, I don't know. It's pick your poison. I think Bryce Young's going to be the real deal, so I'm just going to go with the Panthers.
Yep, it's the South. It's nothing to write home about. Honestly, I'm not looking forward to either of these teams performing well this season. Both really, too young of a squad to tell. I think that Desmond Ritter is going to do well at Atlanta, but I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen. Honestly, this is not the game of the week. I'm going to take the Falcons because they're at home, but honestly, both of these teams can only go up from last season. They both failed miserably, and they can only go up. So I'm going to take the Falcons at home.
Yep. Moving on, we got the Jaguars and the Colts. The Colts, sorry, Pat McAfee, are but they're having issues with Jonathan Taylor coming back. I don't know if that got resolved or not. But the Jaguars coming off a good showing in the postseason last year, although they didn't go far. They had that nice comeback win against the Chargers. And Trevor Lawrence is looking like a dude over there. So I think the Jaguars got this one.
Yeah, I think that the Jags are going to dominate the AFC South this year. I think that's their division. I think they're going to win that. I don't really see anybody putting up a big fight over it. The Colts just kind of don't have anything. Their team is slowly dissolved over the past few years, and they finally hit the point of you don't really have a whole lot. You can really only go up, but what do you truly do in that situation? Honestly, I think that it's going to be another rough season for Colts fans, but next season, hopefully you can come together and scrape things up. I think this is going to be a real trial year. You're going to really find out who's going to be staying and who's not after the end of the season for the Colts. But like I said, I think it's the Jags division this year. Their offense put up really good numbers, and they made a good push in the playoffs. They only won one game against the Chargers, but they made it. I don't think anybody thought they'd make it that far, and it's impressive for them. I think I'm going to take the Jags.
Yep. 49ers, Steelers, going to be two good defenses going up against each other. This should actually be a good game. Kenny Pickett seems like a dude. Brock Purdy is a dude. But I think, I don't know, just the way the 49ers look like here, last year, I don't see them slowing down, but we do have to remember their slow start to last season. But that was with Jimmy Garoppolo, and obviously a lot different stuff going on there. But Brock Purdy seems like the guy over there, so I'm just going to have to go with a 49ers win.
Yeah, I mean, it's a solid pick. Brock Purdy looked really well at the end of last season. The San Francisco defense really hasn't dwindled much. They still have most of their key pieces, and they still look like a strong squad. Kenny Pickett is yet to be, a prime quarterback. We haven't really seen it from him last year. He played well. He didn't play great. But I trust Mike Tomlin, and I don't think that he's going to let him stay and play quarterback if he's not going to perform. So I'm expecting to see something from him. I think that if the Steelers can keep their defense going like they did in the beginning of last season, they'll have a nice strong squad and it'll look good. They still need a couple of key players here and there, but they are at home. And it's Pittsburgh. It's tough to go to Pittsburgh and play. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh this week at home.
There you go. I think the Steelers are actually going to be a Super Bowl contender this year, but we'll see. I think they're a sleeper.
I don't know. We'll find out.
Next, we got Cardinals versus the Commanders. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals have just been disappointing overall the past couple seasons. And the Commanders, they got a new ownership, so they got something to stand behind now. So that's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go with the Commanders win here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to back you in that one. It's going to be a Commanders win. They're at home. The Commanders look like the better team, and quite frankly, over the past year, the Cardinals look like a cardinal that flew into a window, fairly dead. They haven't brought any energy to the field. They haven't really performed well. They've just kind of rolled over, and yeah, they ended last season. They ended it. But the Commanders, they kind of came through. They made a little bit of a push last year. They look like a good team. I like some of their key players. it's going to be a couple of questions here and there that we'll see resolved in week 1. But in terms of overall between the two teams, I'm going to take the Commanders. They just look like the more well-built team.
Yeah, I agree. Moving on, Raiders Broncos. Golly, don't get me started on Russell Wilson, the Broncos. Sean Payton's coming in there, so maybe it'll look a little better. Can't deny Sean Payton's coaching abilities over there, but I'm just not a huge Russell Wilson fan. After he left the Seahawks, it kind of just seems like I don't even know if Russell Wilson's a dude. He's not a great leader from what we saw last season, but I'm going to just go with the Raiders here. They got Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback, don't forget, and Davante Adams, so maybe Davante Adams gets a little more utilization this year. We'll see. But I'm going to take the Raiders in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to join you. The Raiders this week are just looking like the better team. Like you said, Sean Payton taking control of the Broncos is always good. We can't deny Sean Payton of anything. He's a great head coach, and I love what he does. The only issue is he has to be able to do something with what's at Denver, which isn't much. You have a failed Russell Wilson and a couple of other players who are just broken down at this point.
Dang,
if I'm shooting tonight, but if the Broncos can get together and make things happen under Sean Payton, that's a wonderful thing. I don't think they're going to be able to do it by week 1. I think they're going to have some serious trial by fire and find out who's going to be able to stay as a starter, who's going to be able to stay on the team in general, where they're going to need to fill holes. The Broncos didn't have much draft capital. They didn't have, a whole lot of room to bring anybody in because they spent so much on Wilson and Payton. And, for as good as those, for as good as they are, I mean, you can't build a team with two players or with a player and a coach.
Sure, yeah, I can.
You can do a lot.
Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur.
You can do a lot. Yeah, where's the Super Bowl with them? You can do a lot with a player and a coach, but you can't do everything.
Tom
It's going to
Brady
be rough.
and Bill Belichick.
They had an entire team around them.
Because the coach. Okay. So you got who?
I got the Raiders.
Okay. Dolphins versus Chargers. Tua. Big Tua fan. Can't really root against him. Hopefully he stays healthy. That's the one thing about Tua. Just don't want to see him hurt. He's too good to be hurt. I've never been the biggest Justin Herbert fan. Not saying he's not good. I don't think he's fair. Way up there like people say. So, and the Chargers really haven't done anything. Really, I mean they've had a good team, but I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. I mean they just looked great last year. I think they're gonna continue that. Jalen Waddle, I think, is on the Dolphins. They got a couple that Bama connection. We'll see how that goes, but I'm gonna go Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean that's a good pick. I'm gonna take the Chargers just to spite you. I like Justin Herbert. I like what he's done. I like the way he performs. I like Austin Eckler. I like what he's been doing. I like that the Chargers made it to the. It really is. I like the way that, the Chargers, even though they had a rough season and they are playing in the same division as Kansas City, they still made it to the playoffs. They,
choked.
They were there. They made it at least. And, it's more than you can say for a lot of the teams in the league. And, they performed. I think it's going to be an interesting game. I'm always skeptical of the Chargers. They've always kind of had their streaks of being good and then just kind of falling over. But I think in this week being at home, week 1, I'm going to take the Chargers.
Yep. All right, moving on. We got another Super Bowl contender in the Patriots. No, I'm just kidding. Eagles. Eagles versus Patriots. Patriots got a lot of proof. See if they can contend, but I just don't see them beating the Eagles. Eagles being the powerhouse that they are. I think they're going to pick up right where they left off from last season with Jalen Hurts, so I got Eagles.
Yeah, I think that's a fair enough shout. I think that the Eagles have just a well-rounded team put together, and that's really what you need to win in this league. I think that the Patriots always have a good defense, but I don't think that they have an offense that can really pair with it. And I just think that they're going to lack in putting up numbers, especially week 1. Maybe they'll pick up the pace later in the season. But I think week one they're going to really struggle with putting points on the board, especially against Philadelphia. So I'm going to take the Eagles.
All right. Next, don't know if this game will be as good as we think it will. Well, I don't know if it'll be good or not. I guess I should just say the Rams versus the Seahawks. I honestly don't know who to pick. I think I might just go with the Seahawks because I think they're at home. Yes, they're at home. So I'm just going Seahawks.
I mean, it's a fair enough shout. The only qualm that I have with that is that it's an NFC West game, which means that most of the time when they play each other, the away team wins for some reason. I'm never quite sure why. It's never, been explained. But for some reason, if you just look back, the away team usually has the edge. Unfortunately, this year, I don't think the Rams have much of an edge. I prefer the way that, I like the way that the Seahawks look in terms of the players they have and how they can perform. But if history's told me anything, it's to pick the Rams, and I think I got to go with it this time. I like the Seahawks better, but I think for some weird reason, I'm going to take the Rams.
All right. Well, how about this next matchup? Week 1, we get the Packers-Bears rivalry earlier in the day, and then later at night, we get the Cowboys-Giants rivalry. That's going to be an exciting game. I don't really know what to expect from this, but I think the Giants are going to... I'm going to go with Giants just because I favor the Giants over in this one. I don't really know how to explain it other than Saquon and the head coach. Who's the head coach? Brian Dable?
Beats me.
Brian Dable, I think. He's a dog. So I think they're going to... I'm going to just pick the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. It's an NFC East game. It's the exact same thing as the NFC West. You're never quite sure what's going to happen in these games.
Yeah, you could have a one-handed catch on primetime television.
It could be any result here. It could go either way. The score could, be 3-0. The score could, match the Oregon game from last week. You're never quite sure. You're never quite sure what's going to happen in these games. With the Giants being at home and having a nice team, I think that they're going to play well. I think I'm going to take the Cowboys on the contrary to saying that the Giants have a good team.
What?
I think that the defense from the Cowboys is just going to be a little bit better than the offense of the Giants.
What?
And, for as lackluster as I think the Dallas offense is going to be, I think they're just going to put up more points.
All right, we'll see. Should be a fun one to watch, nonetheless. But moving on to probably our game of the week on Monday Night Football. This is everything everyone's been waiting for because they got the Hard Knocks series following them. The Jets, Aaron Rodgers, the biggest highlight of the offseason, really, versus the Bills and Josh Allen. The Bills really got a lot to prove. People are really not even looking at the Bills at all. I mean, you look at how people were talking about the Bills last season. That is the Jets this season. So that's kind of unique to see that. And now they're facing head-to-head week 1 here.
Yeah.
I got the Jets.
All right, fair enough. I got the Bills.
Go Bills.
No.
It's going to be a fun game, though.
Yes.
I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan.
It should be a good game.
So.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets brought in a lot of players and a lot of pieces. The only issue is they brought in a lot of pieces. They just might not be for the same puzzle. It can get confusing, and I'm not quite sure if they're going to be ready for week 1. I think that the squad could look good. I think that the team can play well.
They got Aaron Rodgers.
I'm just not confident in it.
They got Aaron
Rodgers. Cool.
If
Aaron Rodgers was as good as if Aaron Rodgers was as good now as he was a few years ago, he would have won another Super Bowl with the Packers.
No,
he didn't. He's not as good as he was.
Now. He's got weapons.
He's got weapons. He had Devontae Adams.
That's it.
Before he left, he had Adams. He had Jones. Dillon was a first year. We still had Lewis. We had a good defense. We had a solid offense. He couldn't do it then. What's going to allow him to do it now?
He's got a defense and weapons. Well, anyways, it will kind of set his legacy because now he's got no excuses. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we're really going to find out if Rodgers was the problem or the Packers were the problem last year, and we'll find out. It doesn't really matter because I think that the Bills are going to win this game anyways. Josh Allen and the Bills' offense needs to just pick up the pace a little bit from the end of last season. Other than that, they should be fine. The Bills' defense should be more than fine. I think that they're just going to walk on the Jets.
Dang, that's a harsh statement. Well, all right, that wraps up our picks. A lot of games going on, a lot of excitement. There's always excitement in the NFL. Get your fantasy team set up, don't forget. But anyways, that wraps up our week 1 predictions. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it to the end of the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share your picks. And please like this video so we can get the unedited version of Eric's picks. That's going to be awesome.
Yep.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
See you.